Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are doing a part 2 of Pillow Talk, Love, Sex and Relationship. In my last video, I was not able to finish all the questions because there were quite a lot. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. The last question for part 1 was actually what was the kinkiest thing you and Felix have ever done? And I said it was going to a sex club in Berlin. The question that we're going to start off today is, well, by someone else, and they wanted to know what we did in that sex club. So I'm excited to tell you because this was actually really fun. Are you ready? Let's get started! Oh, and usual disclaimer, I will not be revealing the names of people who asked me these questions because most of them wanted to stay anonymous, and well, the other half of them I don't have their consent, so I just keep it simple. No one's name will be exposed. Let's get started with question 13. Did you end up having sex in that sex club in Germany? And if so, how did you and your boyfriend be okay with it? Right, so yes, we did end up having sex in the sex club. I mean, when in Rome, do what Romans do. The both of us actually discussed about what we wanted to do and not do in the sex club before we even went on the trip, because we were both intrigued about this specific place. Like, Berlin has so many interesting clubs and techno music and all these really cool things about it, and it was such a liberal city. We were just so intrigued to know what exactly goes on when they say like sex club. The funny story is we arrived on Saturday and I wanted to go to the club on that Saturday night itself because it was actually one of their more famous nights. Friday and Saturdays were their like go ham, anything can fly kind of night. You get all kinds of kinks. You just see a myriad of people that are just so different sexually, and it was just exciting to know that was what I was gonna experience. But because it was such a popular night, I was lining up with Felix for 3 hours straight in the cold. It was February. I don't know why I thought February would be, I don't know, like kind of spring. Obviously it's not. February is the coldest time of the year. It's winter, peak winter. Yeah, and I was in like this short dress thinking this queue will pass. I'll just go in and out real quick and I'm not going to freeze in a queue. But I went at like 9 p.m. or something, and 9 p.m. is pretty damn early. I queued for 3 hours. You know those tiny airplane bottles of whiskey? I was just like drinking it like water because I was like, oh my god, it's so fucking cold. So by the time I reached the front of the queue, I was refused entry because, you know, safety first. They're not going to let someone who is drunk, who cannot consent into a sex club. Fair on them, and honestly fair on me. Like, thank you for refusing me, because that was a good job on you, Kit Kat Club. So then we went home and then we tried again the next day, which was a Sunday, and I think the theme for Sunday was couples night. It was much more mellow, and obviously Sunday, next day there was work. There wasn't a lot of people at all. We went slightly earlier and we just went in right away. There was no queue at all, but there was just like a good amount of people. It wasn't too packed, it wasn't too like overwhelming. It was just right, I guess, for our first time, which was actually a blessing in disguise. The dress code is no dress code. You're supposed to undress. So when you enter the club, there is like a front desk, and they will kind of like, hey, show us what you've got kind of thing. What's your outfit for the club? And then I basically took off my dress and I was wearing this black lace lingerie with garters. Very basic compared to, I swear, everyone else in the club. And then Felix just wore his underwear and like a tie, shirtless and a tie. I don't know, like schoolboy vibes. But we were very basic compared to the people that were in the club. It was just so intriguing. Everyone was like so much, but like in a good way. So yeah, we got accepted to go in because obviously they have to see your dress code, what you were wearing first. If you were too vanilla, they probably wouldn't let you in. You are probably not ready for what you're about to experience, and they don't want obviously the backlash. So we were probably like borderline vanilla, but they were like, ah, you can, okay, you pass. So we went in, and then the drinks were pretty, like, it wasn't too expensive as well. We drank at the bar. The place doesn't really have a cohesive theme. There was a pool outside with day bed surrounding it. It was like very zen, kind of meditation music, and people just like making out on the day beds and like swimming erotically having sex maybe in the pool. And then there was like the inner bit where it was holes and stages and just straight up like, you can pull down, strut your stuff. And then there was dark corners with little bits that people were just having sex in. Everyone just minded their own business. It was so intriguing to watch. People did not give a shit. You could be fucking next to someone and they were just fucking or just minding their own business. It was so wow. I love it. It was so sex positive. It was so body positive. Everyone was just doing their own thing, and this is honestly, in my opinion, the ideal society I like to live in. Everybody minding their own damn business, you know? Except the fact that it was plain hedonistic. I feel like I vibe with that. And also, I would like to say that the bouncers in the front desk, everyone who worked there was very, very nice. No one ogles at you because I feel like they've probably seen a bunch of this every day of the week. They're used to it and it felt very comfortable. Kind of just like being in your underwear going to this big guy bouncer, like, oh my god, that guy was being annoying, and he just like got you, and then he just goes and intervenes the situation. Yeah, and if you weren't feeling well, at some point Felix was kind of feeling anxious, probably a bit too drunk. The bouncers would just, oh come, like brought him to the safe room, gave him blankets, water, drink, just took care of him. It was interesting because previous clubbing experiences, I swear, like the moment you don't feel well, bouncers and front desk people who at the club just, oh my god, get the fuck out, because they don't want you to cause trouble. But at Kit Kat Club, it seemed like it was so open and it was just plain empathy and just normal human connection. Like, I'll take care of you because you're in my establishment and I want you to be okay. And that just feels like bare minimum. So I really enjoyed my time there. I definitely will be going back, and I hope they're still open though, because I heard that with the lockdown and stuff, with the COVID and stuff, they might be closed. Hopefully not. It's iconic. Okay, number 14. Does sucking a girl's boob is enough to make her come and pleasure? I'm very confused. Okay, if that was the case, it would be fucking weird for a breastfeeding mom, no? I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. There are people who are hypersensitive, can orgasm on a whim, and maybe nipples are their erogenous zones, but from my experience, no. Like, you can't just... no. No. 15. How to overcome fear of having sex for the first time. I'm scared of the pain. I remember my first time. It was weird. It's like a weird sharp stab that you've never experienced before, well, because you probably never had sex before prior to that. But it quickly went away. I don't know how to explain it. It was just like a sharp pain, like cramps maybe, and then it just like felt good afterwards. I mean, it will definitely feel good if you're doing it with someone you love and trust and you're ready for. But obviously, trust the process and your body will just adjust as you go. As long as you're in a good headspace, you shouldn't have too much to worry about. But there are also people who suffer from vaginismus. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Okay, vaginismus is where your vaginal muscles just automatically tightens up whenever penetration of any sort is attempted. And it's really painful because your vag just like, no. And if you suffer from that, definitely you need to see a doctor because there are ways to overcome that. But if it's just nerves, then there are plenty of ways to calm them by just being very open about what you are attempting to do or planning to do with your partner before, during, and after the process. Because communication really, really is the best way to have the best experience, I would say, for your first time and for any time you have sex, honestly. That is one advice I can give you. 16. What's your favorite or least favorite thing about being in a relationship? So I think my favorite thing would be having someone to come home to, physically and mentally. And my least favorite thing would be compromise. It's not because it's difficult to compromise, but it just means doing things differently that you're not exactly used to accommodate the other person. I mean, like, getting used to certain types of compromise can be irritating at times, but it's also rewarding because there's a new sense of purpose, I guess, like loving and taking care of someone else, vice versa. So love-hate. 17. Do you date to marry? Okay, so I don't think too hard when I get into relationships. I just usually have that whole, you never try, you never know kind of mindset. So I always end up in like relatively long relationships because I never want to cop out. I'm always willing to try, unless there was something really wrong that I felt like, oh hell no, I have to leave this relationship. I wouldn't be the one to initiate a breakup, also maybe because I suck at initiating that. But I usually try my best till the end, until I can no longer do it anymore, which may or may not be a toxic trait of mine, toxic to myself. But yeah, I'm happy to wear my heart on my sleeve, and I think the ups and downs of a relationship are part of the journey, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I think having that mentality puts me in really long-term relationships every single time. My first and second relationship, like serious ones, lasted almost 3 years long, and I'm not gonna lie that I didn't think of marriage at that point because we were dating for so long for my first and second relationship. So obviously I had like, oh, could this be the one? Could this be the relationship that makes it to the end? But yeah, it didn't work out. That's why they're both my exes. Maybe at that point in time I was upset about it, but not necessarily because I didn't end up marrying them, but more like the initial stages of heartbreak. 18. How did you first meet Felix? Let me tell you. It was not that interesting. So we met on Tinder, and actually I don't even remember if I was the one who swiped right to him, or did I give a friend my phone when she was bored and she was just swiping for the fun of it. Like, I literally don't remember because I don't remember swiping him. And he, on the other hand, doesn't remember swiping me as well because he had Tinder Premium. Okay, he paid for Tinder. I don't know, I just feel like sad case. He got me. Makes me feel like I was bought. No fucking clue. Ugh. So he subscribed to Tinder Premium, and that means he has unlimited swipe, and also he know who super likes him, I think, or I don't know, it's just something about the algorithm, he gets first-hand knowledge. So what he would do, he told me, is that he would leave his phone on Tinder and then do something else, and his hand would just be there like swiping right to every single possible girl that pops up. And then when a match comes up, he would go to his message board and see all the matches, kind of double check their profiles to see if he would actually be keen on going out or like spending time with them. From there on, he would message these girls. So I just think it was wild. I was part of a whole Tinder algorithm success story because we did not even remember swiping each other. The first message he sent to me was really creative. Like, it really stood out from every other guy I matched with that was just kind of like an eye roll. So I will probably do a story time on that, maybe with him in another video because I think it deserves one. But we basically met on Tinder. Hashtag Tinder success story. I don't know, Tinder should sponsor this video. Just say. Or my wedding. So number 19, how did you open up to your parents about being sexually active? I'd be dead. Okay, this is kind of a long story, but it's quite a hilarious one. I'm gonna try and keep it short. So basically, I started having sex when I was 15, but obviously my parents were not aware of that. And when I was dating my second boyfriend, I was around 17, 18, but I'm pretty sure I was 18 at the time already. My parents still viewed me as this like little girl. As long as I was not 21 and above, I was still legally theirs. I was planning to go to Thailand with my then boyfriend, and my parents obviously would not allow us to just go together because sex. So I lied to them and I said that we were going with a group of friends. They bought it, I guess, but actually I was just going with my boyfriend then. So I went to Phuket, Thailand with my boyfriend then. We did what couples on vacation do. We shared a room, we had fun, and we explored the little island. When I was in Thailand, my mom was like a bit sus because I post on Instagram so often. She was like, why don't I see pictures of you and your friends? It's just you or you and your boyfriend. We were in Phuket, and Phuket was kind of notorious and kind of famous maybe, for the red light district and the nightlife. So there were a lot of strip clubs, and me and my boyfriend then, we were just exploring. I suggested we went to strip clubs because I wanted to see what it was all about, you know, like, what the fuck? Why are men so into this? Yeah, so we went to a strip club, we hung out with some really nice strippers actually and drank with them, and then they were like, oh my god, let's take a selfie, and we took selfies with 2 strippers. When my mom asked for pictures of me and my friends, I sent the picture of me, my boyfriend, and the 2 strippers. But the thing is, they were dressed kind of crop top kind of vibe, so she didn't suspect obviously that they were strippers, and she didn't know a lot of my college friends, so I just pulled up some random names and she believed it. But I guess not fully, because when I came back from the trip 1 to 2 weeks later, we had some argument about something completely unrelated. I was like, oh my god, what do you want to know about me? Let's get it all out, like let's clear the air. And then she just snapped and she was like, did you go to Thailand with your boyfriend alone? And I was like, yeah. And I started laughing because I don't know, I think part of me, I didn't give a shit about the lie. I was just waiting for her to realize, and at the same time I didn't want to bring it up if she didn't bring it up. It was the perfect time, so I admitted to it, and I didn't tell her that it was pictures of strippers, by the way. So if she watches this, sorry mom. She freaked out. She was like, oh, you don't understand, when a man and a woman is in the room together alone, and I was just like, they have sex? And she was just like it was really funny. I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, oh my god, why is my mom like that? She has always been so open and chill about a lot of things, and I was just laughing at the fact that she was afraid to talk to me about sex. But yeah, I could physically see her like choking, and I know it's probably not funny to her, but it was so funny to me. So I eventually just told her everything. Like, I had sex when I was 15 with my first boyfriend, and that I was already on birth control. I literally went to the clinic myself. I've been checked up. I've done everything myself that she didn't know of, and I was only 18 at that point. And because I learned everything either from science or self-discoveries and from the internet, I felt like I had quite a vast knowledge on what I was doing. I did, and I just wanted to tell her that she did not raise an idiot. She did not raise a dumbass who was going to fall pregnant as a teenager. So I literally told her, if you trust your parenting skills, then know that you did well on me. I completely weighed out the pros and cons. I did all my research. I studied everything before getting into whatever I was getting into. So I just wanted her to know that trust the process of me growing up. The fact that I was kind of confronting her while she never really had to talk with me. She was so chill about random shit, like going out here and there for some reason. Just random stuff she was chill about, but maybe because she was an Asian mom, who knows. She was not into talking about sex with me. But now she's a bit more cool, because I am a bit too old for her to be governing my body and dictating what I do, say, or dress. But yeah, right now she's much cooler now. She kind of got the hint that she did an okay job at raising me, and I am not on 15 and pregnant, so I'm okay. 20. What do I do when I start losing feelings for my boyfriend? I would say definitely tell him. You need to talk to him, because you don't want to waste your time, you don't want to waste his time, and it's just not good. It's eventually going to turn into something very toxic if you don't talk about your feelings. And it's okay sometimes to just go your separate ways. I like to say love of your time, not love of your life, because you have so many phases in life that require different people, and not everyone's gonna stay in your life forever. So they'll come and go, they'll bring lessons, things for you to experience, to know what exactly you want for the future. And these people will come and go, and it's okay to break up with people and move on. It's not that scary. It may seem pretty damn scary at that point, because you feel like, oh my god, I'll be so empty, I'll be so lost without this person, and this person filled up so much of my time and my life at this certain point of time. But once you move on, you will see things so much clearer. Things will open up. So don't be afraid to just communicate your feelings. 21. Ideal dick size. I don't discriminate. Okay, 22. How to deal with disagreement. Like I said, communication is so important. You have to lay it all out. What you don't like, what you like. Make sure that the other person understands, and that's how you move forward. Because if you're not telling the other person what exactly you don't like and keeping it all in to yourself, it is eventually going to snowball into a terrible disagreement, and even worse. So communication is key. Sometimes I know people are afraid of talking about their feelings because they feel like, oh my god, I don't want to open up, I don't want to be so bare with the other person, because you feel vulnerable. But I promise you, once you do that, it will be so much easier to navigate your relationship. 23. How often should there be sex? As often as you both consent it to be. I don't have a national average. I mean, there probably is a national average of how often couples or people have sex, but it's also to each their own. Can't tell you how often you should be having sex. 24, last but not least. Is it important for us girls to be actively pleasuring ourselves? Well, I wouldn't say actively like every single time you do something you have to be like flicking the bee. But yeah, it is important to practice self-love, and if self-love means masturbating, then yeah, go ahead and do it. It really increases your serotonin, so I don't understand why people don't do it more often, because you can't expect a man or someone else to constantly be there to satisfy your every whim. So on that note, just do it yourself. Get some sex toys, or just, I don't know, manually jazz it up. If you know what I mean. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed part 2 of this video. It was actually really nice for me to reminisce and walk down the memory lane. And I hope you guys liked it as much as I did, and I will see you in my next video. So like, comment, subscribe, and do that thing, and I will see you next time. Bye!